We are doing the full part of US Highway 24 as the Supercut. Yeah! On Interstate 75, we get mentioned for US Highway 24 for Dixie Highway as Waterford. US Highway 24 gets mentioned. Interstate 75 South will head into Detroit, and northbound will head into Flint. That's great choices, respectfully. We get Interstate 696 for Lansing. We get Interstate 96 for Detroit and Lansing, respectfully. And we get Telegraph Road. In Dearborn, Michigan, we get US Highway 12 mentioned. Interstate 94 West gets signed for Chicago, and eastbound will head into Detroit, respectfully, for Interstate 94. We get Interstate 275 for Flint. That is a great choice. I like that choice for Interstate 275. So Michigan's doing good. 275 South will head into Toledo. We need Toledo for US 24 when it goes there. And now we just entered into Ohio state line. We don't get a welcome sign. Alright, so we're about to head into Toledo. We don't get a mention for Interstate 75 as our interchange. We get Interstate 475 for Sylvania. 75 South is signed for Dayton. That is a great choice. So Dayton's much big. Same as Cincinnati. Cincinnati and Dayton are big towns, but Dayton's a great choice. Same as Cincinnati. And yes, we mentioned Interstate 75. North is signed for Detroit, and southbound gets signed for Dayton, respectfully. Ohio Highway 25 is joining us. So we get Interstate 80 and 90 as the Ohio Turnpike. 80 and 90 will head into Chicago and Cleveland, which is great choices to see. In Maumee, we get US Highway 20 mentioned. You get 20 East and West mentioned. We get Interstate 475 and US 23 will head into Ann Arbor. And we get US 23 and Interstate 475 signed for Dayton. Now we're about to join US Highway 6 in Napoleon. We're going to be having a concurrent C with US Highway 6. US Highway 6 would head into Bowling Green. So we're in Napoleon, Ohio. And we're losing US Highway 6. We get Kendallville and we get Chicago! Chicago, Illinois! Oh my goodness, guys. We get Chicago, Illinois on US Highway 6. That is crazy. We get Chicago. And US Highway 24 West is signed for Defiance. We get Fort Wayne. There too. Wow, ODOT. You get Fort Wayne and Chicago. For US Highway 6, you get Chicago. And then for US Highway 24, it's for Fort Wayne. Oh my goodness. ODOT, you've done good. You deserve that gold medal for getting towns for US highways in Ohio. In Defiance, so US 24 is in Defiance, Ohio. We get US Highway 127 for Podling and Sherwood. And welcome to Indiana. I think we should stop at Peoria. That's a great idea. In Fort Wayne, we're about to join Interstate 469 and US 30. So 30 East and 469 South. We're joining North Interstate 469 with US 30 and 24 as we head into downtown Fort Wayne. And we get Interstate 69 for Lansing, Michigan. And we're joining Interstate 69 South for Indianapolis with US 30 and US 24. We get US Highway 27 for Lima Road. That's the beginning of US Highway 27 South in Fort Wayne. It goes all the way to Miami, Florida. And yes, we're losing US Highway 30 for Goshen. It'll head into Goshen, Indiana. So we're about to join US Highway 33. So 33 South is joining us with US Highway 24. I know US Highway 33 North should be signed like Elkhart and Goshen, Indiana. And we're about to be splitting off with Interstate 69 South and US Highway 33, which US Highway 24 is signed for Jefferson Boulevard. We get US Highway 224 mentioned, which we already done that video on that. We get US Highway 31 for Indianapolis and South Bend. So 24 will head into Logansport and Monticello. In Logansport, we're meeting US Highway 35. We're losing US Highway 35 for Rochester, and we're signed for Monticello. So we get Indiana Highway 25 for Lafayette. Wait, no, my mistake. US Highway 35 is losing us. So 24 will head into Monticello. In Monticello, we're meeting US Highway 421. We're losing US Highway 421. So US 24 will be meeting US 231 in Woolcote. Wait, it's pronounced Woolcut. And we're about to be joining US 231. And we get Interstate 65 mentioned for Indianapolis and Chicago, which is a great choice. We're losing US Highway 231, so 24 is heading straight. Oh, we get Indiana National Guard Army. Alright. That's the next place they are doing. In Kentland, we get US Highway 41 for Hammond and Fowler. Yeah, why? Why are we getting Fowler and Hammond? Come on. And we get Sheldon in the Strait. And yeah, we get US Highway 52 joining us. Because it's splitting off US Highway 41. So 52 is actually joining us. And we just get an Illinois state line. Well, we don't have a Welcome to Illinois sign. And we're losing US Highway 52. It is signed for Kankakee. And we're signed for Sheldon. So we'll do US Highway 52. That is coming in July. We're about to meet US Highway 45 as we head into Gilman. And we're losing US Highway 45. So US 24 is turning right to meet Interstate 57. We get Champaign and Kankakee. Alright, southbound should have been signed Memphis, like it did on the roads and mileage signs, and we should get like Chicago. Why are we getting Kankakee? This is way worse than what we get for US Highway 45. We get Interstate 55. Oh no, this is way worse. We get Bloomington. That should have been Memphis. No, St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri. And that should have been Chicago for Interstate 55 North. This is just bad. Illinois, why are you just putting Bloomington and Joliet? That should have been St. Louis, Missouri. And Chicago, Illinois. We get Interstate 39 and US 51 for Rockford, Bloomington, and Normal. Alright. As we're leaving Eureka, we get Peoria, Illinois. Yay! And US 150 is joining us for East Peoria. No, Peoria. No, US 150 West is signed for Peoria, and East, we're both signed for East Peoria. We get Interstate 74 for Peoria, downtown Peoria, and we get Bloomington. No, this should have been Indianapolis. Now we're going to say goodbye to US Highway 150. And so now we just left off in Peoria, so we're going to continue. We're joining Interstate 474 for Bloomington and Galesburg. And we're losing Interstate 774, and we're heading into Bartonville for US Highway 24. Now we're joining US Highway 136. And we're losing US Highway 136. In Rushville, Illinois, we get US Highway 67. Here we are in Quincy, Illinois. We are signed for Missouri. So we're going to be right near Hannibal. And we're going to be crossing the Mississippi River and heading into Missouri. Once in Missouri, we get US Highway 61 for Canton and Palmyra. With US 61 South and 24 West. And we're splitting off with US Highway 61 for St. Louis, Missouri. Whoa! We get US Highway 24 West for Kansas City. Yes. This is awesome. We get Kansas City. Now we're going to be joining US Highway 36 for Hannibal and Monroe City. And we're losing US Highway 36. We get US 24 for Paris and Moberly. But what happened to Kansas City? Are you kidding me? Missouri, just put Kansas City on there, bro. Come on, Missouri. Why are you doing this? In Moberly, we get US Highway 63 for Macon and Columbia. Alright. So US Highway 24 will head into Kansas City. We get US Highway 65 for Chillicothe and Waverly. So now we're about to join US Highway 65 southbound. Because we are in Carrollton. So we're signed for Waverly. Come on, why not? Something new for US Highway 65 and 24. And we're losing US Highway 65, so US 24 is turning right to head into Kansas City, Missouri. We get Interstate 435 for Como and Granville. Now we just joined Interstate 435. We get US Highway 40 for St. Louis and Kansas City. And US 40 for Sports Complex. So we're about to join Interstate 70 for St. Louis and Kansas City. So while Interstate 435 is signed for Wichita. And US 40 officially joins us with Interstate 70 and US Highway 24. US 171 is joining us. So we get Interstate 35 and 670 for Topeka and Wichita. We get St. Joseph and Des Moines. Now we're losing Interstate 29, 35, and US 71, while Interstate 70, US 24, and US 40 for Topeka. And we get US Highway 169. Why did US 40 disappear on us? We get US 169 joining us. So 24 did not... US 40 did not disappear. So Interstate 70, US 24, and US 40, and US 169 are both signed for Topeka. So we're heading into Kansas. We get US 69. We get Interstate 635 signed for nothing. 70 West is signed for nothing as well. Come on. Why not a town for Interstate 70 like Topeka? We get Interstate 435 once again. Now we're losing Interstate 70. So yes, 73, 24, and 40 are signed for Leavenworth. Oh, it's Leavenworth. And we're losing US 73, 24, and 40 are still together. And we're joining US Highway 59 for Lawrence, and we're signed for Topeka. And we're losing US Highway 59, and we're signed for Topeka for US 24 and 40. Oh yeah, I forgot. US 40 splits off out of US Highway 59, so we lost US 40. So we're at an independent US highway for now. We're still signed for Topeka for 16 miles. We get US Highway 75 for Topeka and Holton. Here we are in Manhattan, Kansas. We get US Highway 77 for Marysville, and we're signed for Clay Center and Junction City. So US 77 is joining US Highway 24. Now we're losing US Highway 77, so US 24 will turn right and become an independent US highway once again. Now we get US Highway 81. Now we're joining US Highway 281 in Osborne. We are splitting off with US 281. 24 will turn right. In Stockton, we get US Highway US 183 in Stockton. We are assigned for Hill City, Hayes, and Phillipsburg. Hill City is going to be straight. In Hill City, we get US Highway 283, and we're signed. Here's US 83. So US 24 is heading straight. We're joining Interstate 70 West once again. Eastbound is signed for Hayes. And whoa, we get Denver. Yay! And welcome to the colorful of Colorado. We get a mention for US 385, so we're losing Interstate 70. US 24 is signed for Rose Avenue. We're having a little concurrency with US Highway 385. So US 24 has joined US 385. And we're losing US 385, so US 24 is heading straight. Now we're going to be joining Interstate 70 once again. So we're splitting off with Interstate 70. We're joining US 287 for Lyman. And we're going to say goodbye to US Highway 287. So US 24 is turning left. So we're just going to be an independent US highway heading to Colorado Springs. And now we're going to be joining Interstate 25. This should have been Albuquerque or Santa Fe. Nah, just put Albuquerque. And we're signed for Woodland Park and Denver. So we're joining 25 North, US 85, and US 87. And we're losing Interstate 25, US 85, and US 87. So 24 will head somewhere in Colorado. Now we're going to be joining US 285. And now we're going to say goodbye to US Highway 285. So US 24 is turning right. So we're going to be an independent highway for the last time. Interstate 70 West always gets signed for Grand Junction. 70 East always signed for Denver. And US 24 westbound ends. So that is it for our US Highway 24 video. for part 2. So tomorrow would be US Highway 70 part 2.